Hello comfort lovers, welcome back to my channel. Chani here, and today we're talking about how I choose furniture and decor for a cozy vibe and how you can do it too. So let's get started. So the first thing I like to look for when I am decorating my house and I'm looking for a piece of furniture to add a little bit of coziness into my house is actually this kind of stuff right behind me. It's natural wood. Ideally, you probably want to go for something that's stained a little bit like this, or maybe even if it's stained kind of like reddish instead of more white, even though that can work too, depending on what you're going for. And to try and look for older pieces. Some of these things, if they are, for example, antiques, they're going to be a little bit more on the pricier side, but you can also find things for relatively affordable prices as well. This hutch behind me, it's a two-piece. It's really lovely, warms up the space amazingly, and it's great for putting all kinds of my knickknacks and decorations just to give a more cozy vibe to this portion of my apartment. It was only $145 Canadian, and considering the fact that it's quite a large piece of furniture and has a good amount of storage space and is real wood, that's actually not too expensive. And when you're looking for these pieces, you can go to antique stores, vintage shops. Habitat Restore usually has really good prices if you're in the market for furniture, and just shop around. You'll find something to your liking because there's so much furniture out there already. We don't really need to be purchasing new stuff all the time. This will depend obviously on your level of expertise and whether or not you're good with fixing things or refurbishing things. Is looking for stuff that has a little bit of defects. I like to call it character just to make it sound a little bit better, but you're gonna probably get these for a cheaper price than you would be an item that is pristine. This guy, for example, is missing a little something here. I have to go and get that eventually. I'll try and find something that matches this, but I might just take them both off and put new knobs on altogether, because you can also find really cute, kitschy ceramic ones with a whole bunch of different patterns, and that's kind of been my dream in an article of furniture, is to do that to one of them and have really cute knobs on them. So this might be that piece of furniture for me. But yeah, pieces of furniture with defects or it needs a little bit of love and refurbishment, depending of course on your skill level, as I said before, because you're going to find them for cheaper than any of their pristine counterparts. And two, if you elect to leave the damage or just kind of like cover it in some way where it's not going to get damaged anymore, but it still kind of allows those defects to shine through, it adds a lot more character to your furniture, I think, than just getting something from IKEA that is going to all look the same. We've all had one of those dressers and drawers. Never again, right? The next thing is really simple to do, and it's completely free, and that is to be more intentional with your space. Especially with furniture, there's absolutely no rush into buying all of these pieces. You don't need to have a complete set of all matching furniture in order to have a nice looking cohesive space. It's just going to take a little bit more time and a little bit more planning. This not only allows you to really think about what you want in the space as opposed to rushing and then just furnishing it all right away, but it also allows you to spend less money, because I feel like what could happen is if you buy a whole bunch of furniture to completely furnish a room, it's all done. You might be happy with it, but then because you've rushed to complete it, or even if you have really planned it out, you'll still probably end up being dissatisfied with certain elements just because you haven't had a chance to really sit with it in that space in the same way that you would if you build it slowly over time. And you can just like slowly curate your space and enjoy the slow, intentional work that you've put into it to make it a more cohesive living area. The other thing that I wanted to add to this point is also you don't need to have every piece of furniture match and be the exact same to have a cohesive living space and to make it look good. It's just going to take a little bit more time and effort and planning into making them all fit together in a space. This point is for those of you that are, I'll be honest, a lot braver than I am, but I feel like watching people do it just adds so much more personality to your space, and that is not being afraid to customize your furniture. So this can be giving it a different wash than what it originally had. It can be doing decals on it, tiling. Like I saw one girl, she had a hutch and I think she added like curtains to it and made it really cottagecore and cute. Those kinds of things. You can flex your DIY home reno muscles without like knocking down a wall, which especially if you're renting is not something that's just available to you. And even if it is, that can go so wrong so quickly if you don't know what you're doing. Imagine you don't like this wall, but it's load bearing. Oh, that would be so bad. But yeah, it just adds so much more character to any piece of furniture that you have and personality. Like I was saying before, I'm kind of lucky because it's already missing one. Can't find something that looks super similar to this knob. I'm just gonna take them both, or take them both as if there's like an invisible one here. Okay, come on. But no, I'm going to take this one off and then I'm going to replace it with something that I like better. And that is an example of a really simple customization to a piece of furniture that wouldn't be considered irreversible. And if you mess it up, you're not going to be super disappointed. So let's say you found a piece of furniture and you really like it, but the use doesn't make sense, but you feel like it'll really make sense in that space. Don't be scared of using a piece of furniture for something other than its intended purpose. This is kind of out of necessity, but right now you guys in the camera are actually sitting on a stool instead of like a table or something. And I'm just using it in that way for the moment, but you can find older pieces of furniture that was meant for one purpose, but now you're using it for a different one. I've seen a few pieces on the Habitat Restore website where they're selling these old tables that had this extra shelf on top that is, I guess, meant for your home phone, but nobody has home phones anymore. But how nice would it be to have it and kind of use it either as a cute little display coffee table on the corner on the side in one room, or maybe even you come across a really cool like vanity. I have one of those in my den area where my husband and I share an office, and I've actually repurposed that as storage / desk. I don't use it as a true desk because there is no place for your legs to go. So I always have to cross my legs and sit on a chair, which isn't so bad. But definitely when we move, I'll probably look for an extra add-on to that where I can actually put my legs in, so it'll just be storage. But that's another example of a piece of furniture that's technically meant to house clothes. Like it came with a mirror and everything that I'm right now not using, and using it as a different piece of furniture altogether. I was watching this one video and she goes more in depth on the psychology behind why certain things feel more cozy. So if you want to go to her video after this, please feel free. But I saw a couple points that she brought to light and I'm just going to touch on them really quickly. I had mentioned like wooden pieces, but any kind of natural material like coral, brick, some stones and stuff like that, marble, will also add coziness to your house. Warm lighting over cool or white lighting will make any space feel cozier. Nobody feels cozy at an office or in a hospital where they are using those really harsh, bright white lights, but any kind of lamp that's kind of using this kind of light here, you're pretty golden. You can get them for the floor, hang them on the ceiling, all that kind of nice stuff, and it just makes the space feel so much more homey. Oh, hello, baby. I have a child. Hi. He doesn't seem all that happy. Oh, he's such a good boy. Thank you. I'd kiss you, but I have lipstick on and you won't like it. Yeah. A really great way to make your living space feel more cozy to you. I feel like I've talked about this in almost every single one of my videos so far, but that is to get decor that aligns with your interests and places that you've been, souvenirs, stuff of that nature, and like pieces of art that you've created yourself. Like for Valentine's Day, my husband and I, we went to a couple's paint night and we were painting 2 canvases that basically get put together into one picture at the end. Now it's hanging up on our wall in our office. So just those kinds of things are really fun to do. Stuffed animals make really good decoration too, and they're tactile, nice and squishy. Even if you are not plant people, I feel like you benefit from having plants. I suggest plants that are very difficult to kill. If you don't have a green thumb, there's definitely lots of houseplant species that you can get that aren't difficult to care for and are actually pretty resilient to being killed, such as spider plants. I think those make really good plant pets since they're very difficult to kill. My orchids somehow are also not dead after almost 4 years of having them, which is really nice because I thought for the longest time that I had a brown thumb, not a green thumb. But they just bring a little bit more nature into your space, and as well, they help kind of clean the air out a little bit. I only have 2 little orchids, so I don't know how much they're actually doing and how much weight they're actually pulling. But if you have a whole bunch of plants in your house, you will feel much better because you'll just feel like you're breathing really good oxygen. This one is the most important because this is the one that's going to actually help to keep your house clean enough to make you feel like you are happy to live here. And that is well thought out storage solutions for stuff, and when necessary, I know maximalists, you don't want to hear this. I have a hard time with this too, I understand, but sometimes we really do need to thin the herd and curate our space. So to get storage solutions for things that you absolutely can't live without, you need ideally going to be out of sight, out of mind, because like if you have a good storage solution but you can see everything and it's not organized nicely, it's still gonna look like clutter and be stressful to you. But if it's like this and they're all in here, these are definitely not clean, but you don't know that because you can't see inside. And that is the beautiful thing about furniture like this. That does not mean that that excuses you from eventually getting to the point where you can open this without screaming and being scared of it, but baby steps, baby steps. Another good point for warming up your space with decor is to have some fuzzy things in the house, please. Blankets, plushies, fuzzy tactile pillows. That just adds a little bit of texture and dimension to your space, and they're also just really nice to touch and to cuddle up with. These are just a few of my ideas for how to pick furniture and decor for how to make your space feel more cozy. Drop down in the comments below some ideas that you have for how to curate a really cozy space. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like or subscribe if you'd like to stick around. We'd love to have you, and see you next time. Bye!